This time on Marooned. I'm dropped into a blizzard in northern China.
I am up to my waist already in snow. This is not going to be easy.
Evening temperatures drop to 20 below, so I've got to act fast or I'll freeze.
At these temperatures, I'm going to go down with hypothermia very, very, very quickly.
And the cold weather isn't the only danger out here. Mastering a cold environment like this one means there's absolutely zero room for error. I'm Ed Staford. For years, I've honed my survival skills in every corner of the planet. Now, I'm going back to my roots and putting my solo survival skills to the test. This season, I'm seeing if I can stay afloat in environments where water is both the key to survival and the greatest danger. I'll be left completely alone for 10 days with nothing. No film crew, no food, no water, no tools, and just the bare minimum of clothes. This time, it's about more than just survival. I want to see if I can thrive anywhere.
First ever infill on a snowmobile. Two guys in front of me are leading me in. Obviously, this is a bit of a break in tradition in the fact that I'm wearing clothes. But there is absolutely no way that I could be dropped off in a pair of shorts here. I am freezing cold. Okay, it's me. Sissy. Oh. Sissy, Odsečen. Okay, and then immediately, that is the last I'm going to see of anyone for the next 10 days. Oh my goodness. I am up to my waist already in snow. This is not going to be easy.
I've been dropped into northern China, right on the North Korean border. It's dangerously remote, and we're in the dead of winter when daytime temperatures are 10 below zero. A huge cold front has been pushing past me, and it's been dumping powder. I'm heading up the Changbai mountain. The name means forever white in Mandarin. This is where I'm going to spend the next 10 days, using all of the cold weather skills that I have to see if I can survive in this incredibly cold and resource-scarce environment.
Got a full set of warm kit
with multiple layers.
I've got mitts with a woolen inner, which are fantastic in keeping me warm, but they're not good for actually operating any equipment. I've got the camera that this is filming on. Got an emergency medical kit. In addition to my kit that I don't normally have is this. This is a blizzard survival bag. Again, only for the use in emergencies. If I'm cranking this out, it's because I've failed. And lastly, I've got a drone. The amazing thing about this drone is it has an active tracking function, which means that it can just track alongside me and film my journey. And that's it. I've got no food, I've got no water, I've got nothing to help me survive at all, except the clothes that I'm standing up in, 2 hands and half a brain.
Up at this altitude, the weather seems to be changing every minute. Right now,
it looks like there's a blizzard coming in.
Out here, I'm surrounded by danger.
There are black bears. There are Siberian tigers, which are big tigers, and one was spotted within the last month in this exact area. But I'm thinking realistically, the biggest danger is the cold. It's cold injuries, and it's also hypothermia. Okay, this is fairly serious now. The snow is starting to get stronger. I'm imagining right now it must be -7 to -10. At these temperatures, I'm going to go down with hypothermia very, very, very quickly. And I'm thinking at the moment, because of the level of the snow and the amount I'm sinking in, that I'm going to build myself a quinsy, which is essentially piling up a massive pile of snow and packing it down and then tunneling into it, burrowing into it, in order to make myself a little snow cave. I'm walking around in a circle so that I've got an outline to my Quincy. One of the biggest risks in building something like this is that I start sweating and then my base layer is wet and then that freezes and that will cool me down so quickly. I've got no real insulation, just literally a thermal underlayer and a windproof. Right, that should make the work a little bit easier, Staford. I'm going to put sticks in around the outside so that I've got a clear indication of where my circle is. It's not exactly a shovel, but it's anything I can scrape with, really. Starting to build up. I'm starting to get more confident in the fact that this is going to work. You can see. You can't. It's just white.
I think the snow pile for my Quincy is finally big enough. Now, I need to wait a couple of hours for it to sinter. All of the individual snowflakes will refreeze and get really hard. Then I can hollow it out.
It's coming along. It is coming along.
Meaning I have time to collect some wood so I can make some snowshoes and hike out of here.
But I need a Y. That one there is good. Who said brute force and ignorance can't help you survive in Arctic conditions? Yes. That there is the basics of my first snowshoe. My foot's going to go about here. I'm going to have parallel bars going down it, and the pointy bits at the front. I can use these vines for making my snowshoes. That is a really, really good vine. Nice. It's about staying out of the cold tonight. It's shelter, first of all. Absolutely 100% shelter. Okay, it's hard to tell, but I'm going to see if the Quincy is ready to start burrowing into. This bit here feels good. It's a little bit more crunchy now than it was. Definitely solid enough. This is going to be good. There's a slight respite in the blizzard, but it doesn't look like it's going to last long. I'm expecting that to be going all night. So the shelter is more important than ever. That's definitely big enough for me to make my snowshoes inside. I'm going to put spruce bars down here so that I'm insulated from the floor. I'll bring in the materials that I've collected. And I've got a nice little workshop that I can work in at about 0 degrees whilst the blizzard is howling outside. Gotta be happy with that. Let's get started. This is actually a local snowshoeing design, and they used Y sticks. Basically, all you do is lash these poles on and maybe put a few vines in between them, and you've got a large surface area. Obviously, the theory of a snowshoe is it's a bit like stilettos damage a floor, whereas an elephant wouldn't damage the same floor because they've got big fat pads, and I don't want to sink into the snow in my relatively small boots. But what I'm trying to achieve is a much bigger surface area. Okay. I keep laughing at myself because I'm building snowshoes in a Quincy. But as soon as I want a drink, what I have to do is take a bit of ceiling down, stuff it in my mouth, and I'm drinking as well. Everything is all about buoyancy. Everything's about staying above the snow. If I can skim across the snow, suddenly I can move. The last thing I need to do is just make a little foot harness, and I'm done. And then to get it off. It works! Look at that. First snowshoe complete. I'm so happy with that. Right. All I've got to do is do the whole thing again.
One more thing before I turn in. I'm going to stick a stick through the side because I want it to be airtight, but I don't want it to be too airtight. That's just going to give me ventilation. I'm going to leave the hole around my rucksack. Okay. Rucksack's covering most of the door. I'm in. I take my outer boots off and I keep the liners on. The outer boots are waterproof, therefore they'll retain the moisture that's coming off my foot, and that's bad. I got very bad frostbite in Siberia.
Frost nip, frostbite.
Crystals of ice have formed in the flesh. Unless they're treated, the blood flow is cut off. And as the tissue dies, the toe turns black. Extreme cases require amputation. And I had to have plastic surgery 3 times. Not going to make that mistake again. Of course, I don't want bare feet out here, but I can keep my socks on, keep the inners that go inside these boots on, and they'll breathe and they'll let moisture evaporate from my feet. Today has been a really good day. I've got my shelter, I'm out of the elements, and I've got a means of transport. I cannot stay here, despite the fact this is a palatial Quincy. I've got to move. Tomorrow, we're looking for food and we're looking for proper running water. Morning. Day 2 in Chiang Mai Mountain. The thing I was worried about last night is I was looking up at the roof of the cabin and I haven't smoothed it off, and I was just thinking, it's gonna drip on you, it's gonna start melting, it's gonna drip on you, but it hasn't at all. Temperatures have stayed exactly the same. I made it through the first night, which is in itself a very, very, very big bonus.
Okay, moment of truth. This is whether these will stop me sinking in. This might not look fast, but I can tell you that it feels like a sprint compared to being up to my waist. They work. That's extraordinary. Right, that means I'm mobile and I'm moving, and let's face it, I'm out of here.
My snowshoes are helping me cover areas with deep powder in record time. And for places with more tree cover and shallow snow, I can slip them off and walk fairly easily. Can you hear that? That's running water. That is running water. I literally stopped because there's pine trees above me, and I just literally looked down at the pine needles here, and there's pine cones. Inside here are these little pine nuts here. See that there? Pine nut. Obviously packed full of fats and proteins. Quite labour intensive to get the individual nuts out, but for me, undeniably worth it. What I'll do is take a few of these pine cones with me. 4 in total. Today so far is going well. I'm on solid ground today. As I move farther down the mountain, there are more and more resources, and life is beginning to emerge from the forest around me. Let's take my snow shoes off because there's a huge expanse of ice in front of me, and this could speed my travel no end, and it's worth, I think, the risk.
The danger at this time of year, it's the fringe season. So if it was super cold, not actually as dangerous because the ice is going to be really thick, but you can see these brown patches of ice, and that's where water is starting to show. In a couple of weeks, this will be an open expanse of water. Okay.
But it's a toss-up between keeping my snowshoes on or not. There's pros and cons of both. They do spread my weight, but if the ice gives way and I fall in, they could drag me under. So I'm taking them off.
Okay, that's just the edge bit. Although it did crack quite a lot. Okay, seems solid. It is a risk, but it's going to increase my chances of making ground fast. This last section just looks a little bit dodgy. You've got a crack in the ice here, and you've got what looks like a lead of water. Every step I'm taking is nerve-wracking. It has been water, but it's frozen over. Slight cracks, but I'm over. That was heart and mouth time, that was. Look at this. Actual crevasses forming here as well. It was a risk, but it paid off. Right, just climb that hill now.